how can society at large be more sensitive and supportive of the head and neck and thyroid cancer communities, specifically when it comes to mealtime and social gatherings?
If we could focus less on what we're eating and more on the fact that we're eating together, that could change, be a shift, a cultural shift.
Yeah. Socially, I think people don't understand that head and neck cancer patients worry about what they look like because there's trauma and just being aware that you're setting your eyes on a person who's nervous about you setting your eyes on them.
And it's like cancer is that scary word that people don't like to say. If you can learn to be a really good listener and don't be afraid to ask your friend that has cancer, is there anything I can do? Can you help me understand what you're going through?
Right.
And don't make any assumptions. I think that can go a long way.
I get annoyed when the wait staff comes and starts clearing tables. I very politely say, please leave mine.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's still, otherwise everything's clean and he's still trying to eat.
What advice would you give a caregiver who wants to help a loved one affected by head and neck or thyroid cancer who is struggling at mealtime?
Because there's not a lot of consumption going on at these meals, so I always tried to focus on the aesthetic of it, so that at least if I'm presenting you with food that's difficult to eat, it looks good. So it's on china. There's a cloth napkin. It's not a white paper straw in a paper cup. I know this is hard, but I can at least make it easier on your eyes. And then also they felt like that contributes dignity to the whole process. Just have the dignity of something around you that looks good.
My advice to any caregiver helping anyone affected by head and neck cancer is to take time for yourself. Take an extra 30 minutes every day to do something that you need to do because you're taking care of that patient. At mealtime, enjoy your meal. Don't feel badly if you're enjoying your meal when the cancer patient is not enjoying their meal.
And try not to make the person feel uncomfortable. I mean, you can see them struggling, but just kind of carry on.
Yep.
Don't make them look, like are you okay? Can I help you? What do you need? Just, let them, if they need help, they'll tell you.
Yeah.
One of the things that I wish we had done was a grocery delivery program. I didn't have the energy or the mental cognition to do it while I was in the middle of treatment, but I wish I had set up a grocery delivery so that John just had a list of what we normally, I would normally get at the grocery store, and it could be delivered and he wouldn't have to deal with, that was something else that he was going to do, and I think that would have helped a lot.
What do you wish you knew about some of the struggles you or your loved one would face with mealtime before going into treatment and recovery?
One thing I've noticed is that if at the beginning of your journey, if you had access to a dietitian so that they can kind of explain to you what you're going to be up against, that's such a big part of the beginning of the journey and the improvement through the journey.
Right.
And long term.
What advice would you give someone with head and neck or thyroid cancer who's struggling to eat?
It's always changing, right? What you can eat one day is you can't eat the next day, or your tolerance level changes with acidity and spices.
And not to feel bad about it, because when you're getting treatment, they're like, just eat calories, it's a numbers game, just eat. And you go home and you physically can't, and then you feel like I'm not doing what the doctor's telling me, I'm not, and I know Trish started to feel guilty, like they're telling me to eat, but I can't, what am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. Right. You just can't eat.
And that with thyroid cancer, I will say, it's not like that. It's more about the preparation for the treatment where you have to remove iodine from your diet. So we don't have the same kinds of challenges.
That just seems impossible.
I'm here to tell you, it's possible.
Yeah.
We have Exhibit A.
Yes.
What are you grateful for? What am I grateful for? I'm grateful she's here. We were talking yesterday about turning this into a net positive, and we've had a string of opportunities to turn this thing around.
I'm grateful you're here too.
I was going to say, I'm grateful we're all here, right?
We keep learning all the time. You don't stop learning. I think it propels you into a situation where you feel the need to keep learning. It's kind of hard to emerge from this experience without some issues or some scar tissue, whether it's emotionally or physically. It does change you, but change isn't always for the worse. I mean, there are good things.
And I think the six of us can be grateful for this opportunity.
Amazingly.
Because that furtherance of information and hope is what people really are struggling to find. So this has been awesome. Plus to meet other couples.
And there is a tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
There is.
And having examples like you three of people that went through it and got to the other end.